Alright mates, how's it going? In today's video, chapter 23 of Illidan by William King. The dark portal is open and everything's gone a little bit mental, so let's go! At the top of the Stair of Destiny, the gateway to Azeroth glowed darkly. It wasn't so much the sight of the dark portal that depressed Vandal, it was the armies surrounding it. Since their confrontation with High Lord Cruel, the Burning Legion had rushed armies into Outland so quickly they could not be contained, and most of them appeared to be here, lining the road leading to the dark portal. There were bloody thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands. It seemed as if they were intent on proving to Lord Illidan that his plans were a load of shit and he'll never succeed. Plus, a whole bunch of mortal peeps had surged through from the Azeroth side as well. Orcs stood alongside humans, night elves with blood elves. Apparently, Cruel's forces had done much to unite the Alliance and Horde, at least for the moment anyway. And as the peoples of Azeroth collided with the Burning Legion, it quickly became apparent that there must have been a huge army assembled on the other side of the dark portal. For every human or orc or troll that was dragged down, they were quickly replaced. Vandal looked at each of his companions' faces. Illidan had his usual bitchy resting face. Needle was grinning for some strange reason. Illyrissiel looked downright afraid, and Vandal wondered whether her inner demon was taking over her mind and manipulating it. His own demon radiated a sense of satisfaction. Seeing this massive display of power by the Burning Legion pleased it. Vandal then looked back down towards the valley below. At the centre of the Legion camp was High Lord Cruel, barking orders to his forces, and Illidan looked extremely puzzled at the sight of him.
Did Cruel expect this? Did he want it?
Why would he want this?
Draw out the forces of Azeroth, perhaps. Lure them away from their home ground.
You think this is another trap?
It has the feel of one. The question is, for whom? There is something here that I dislike.
Vandal knew what he was talking about. The feeling of his own demon's satisfaction was unsettling. Did it sense something about this situation that they themselves did not yet know? As the fighting continued, and more soldiers advanced down the Stair of Destiny, there was a moment where it looked like the Legion encampment might be overrun. But, thanks to the Legion's field commander, the offensive ground to a halt. Step by step, the armies of Azeroth were driven back up the stairs, until eventually the two forces achieved balance, neither of them able to gain or lose a step. However, a whole bunch of Felguard, Dreadlords, Doomguard and Wrathguard had assembled on the far edge of the ridge below, keeping out of sight. High Lord Cruel himself led them, and his intent was pretty clear. He was planning on surprising the Azeroth forces from their flank.
If those demons can turn the Orc flank, then the battle will be lost.
We can't let that happen.
Absolutely. Take a company and intercept the demons before they reach the stairs. Stop them.
Vandal wasn't entirely sure if he was being rewarded or punished for speaking out, but he did what he was told. It had taken the might of the betrayer himself to vanquish Cruel in their last fight, so Vandal wasn't exactly feeling very confident. He gestured to Illyrissiel, Needle and a few others, and they moved down the ridge, as quickly and quietly as they could, and it didn't take them long at all to catch up to Cruel's sneaky group. Vandal then screamed a war cry, aimed a fell bolt at the nearest of the demons, and moments later, he was amongst them, ducking and rolling and cleaving and striking and flipping and stuff. High Lord Cruel then looked directly at him. He wasn't ignoring him anymore.
Ah, little one, does your master fear to face me himself?
Nope, he thinks I'm a match for you. As Cruel's gigantic blade slammed down, Vandal just stepped to one side, and then aimed his blade at the High Lord's leg. However, it just kind of bounced off thanks to Cruel's protective aura. So he quickly rolled away, hoping to put himself out of Cruel's line of sight. Unfortunately, his roll took him directly into the middle of a brutal melee, and before he could leap back towards the High Lord, demons swarmed him, and it took all of his concentration just to stay alive. For every demon he chopped down, another took its place. His limbs grew sluggish, and even his magical blades had begun to dull. He was pretty sure he was going to die, but he didn't care, as long as he could take as many demons into death with him. However, extremely conveniently, the tide of battle then carried him back towards Cruel, and it wasn't long before he found himself face to face with the High Lord again. Although he was now pretty much spent, so that wasn't really a good thing. Cruel raised his sword, but Vandal refused to look away. Although he couldn't get up, he raised his daggers in a last desperate attempt to parry. But once again, he was pretty sure this was the part where he dies. And then, explosion! And suddenly there was a gaping hole in Cruel's chest, through which Vandal could see Illidan. And it very quickly dawned on Vandal that Illidan had been weaving a slow-building spell of awesome power again, and Vandal and his companions had merely been a distraction. But what if you killed him?
Perhaps.
Off guard, leaderless, and facing a whole bunch of demon hunters, the remaining foes that had been following Cruel fell pretty quickly. Well, we saved the Alliance and Horde, and they'll never even know.
They do not need to know. It is enough that they are here. They will keep the Burning Legion occupied whilst we engineer its defeat.
The demon hunters then pulled away from the battlefield and head back up the slopes, but Vandal turned to take one last look at the conflict. The troops from Azeroth had begun clearing the stairs of their foes, and the tide of battle had turned in their favour once more. It looked as if they were now going to establish a permanent foothold in Outland. Illidan then flexed his wings triumphantly.
Now we must seek the throne of Kil'jaeden.
And we're leaving it there! Some of you may have noticed I'm starting to take a few creative liberties here and there. I'm trying not to deviate from the book too much. I just tend to cut out a lot of the repetition. The moments where Vandal just kind of stands around thinking about stuff he's already thought about before. It's fine in the book, just not so much when you're trying to adapt it into a video series. As usual, link in the description if you're interested in buying this book. Also, there's links to my Discord server and my Patreon page too. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks. And all that's left to say is, thanks for watching, and see ya!